we just throw ourselves into it. Tell us what happened this October in Lagos. There is some serious things going down right now in Nigeria.
Yeah, so it's been quite in the pipeline, but October seemed to be the tipping point for young Nigerians who have faced years and decades of incredible police brutality. When we say police brutality, it's beyond what can be imagined. It's been at the core of the decadence of the Nigerian police for a long time. That young people are profiled for no reason, for no reason at all, for no excusable reason. Just because you're young and you're using an iPhone or you're using an Apple product, you are profiled as maybe an internet fraudster, a kidnapper, or an armed robber. If you're driving a flashy car, you're profiled as being a young person, or you're not supposed to be able to afford this car. And these are means for extortion, by officers of this special unit of the Nigerian police that is called the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. So it's been going on for decades. I mean, in the country, there's so many stories that you cannot believe of how, and the stories are out there as well, of how they're extorting people, they're murdering people, that they're taking lives every day without consequences. They're replacing criminals with innocent people off the streets. And it seems, of course, there's quite some allusion or allegation that these are very strategic and targeted within this unit, as a means of raking in revenue for top officers within the unit, to make their ends meet. So it's been a really an attack on the Nigerian youth, on their freedom, on their creativity, on their industry, on their youthfulness, as well as their future as well.
Like in Nigeria, there's unproportional targeting of children and youth, and there's a lot of things happening there right now. Can you tell me a little bit about what the situation for children and youth are in Nigeria?
It's very gloomy, not looking good, getting worse by the day. Just last week, the report said over 600 young people from a science secondary school, young boys, were kidnapped by terrorist group Boko Haram. They've claimed responsibilities. In fact, recently they just released the video of the boys. Some of them crying, some of them saying others have been killed, and calling for the government to release them. And they were kidnapped, worst of all, from the home state of the president of Nigeria, and worse again, when the president of Nigeria was visiting his own home state. So he's in that state, they kidnapped these kids, and he couldn't even go to show sympathy or to commiserate with people's parents and things like that. It's I don't know of any other country in the world where their young people or their future is being this targeted, very disproportionately. It's insane. It's a very unsafe space to raise kids, very unsafe space, to kind of foment any kind of development at all. It's at this point, that kind of situation is fatally hopeless.
And
And
it reminds me, of course, about like the girls that were kidnapped back in 2014 by Boko Haram, but also like this explicit targeting of children and youth is quite unique. It's hard, even as like a youth activist, we always ask like the UN system, you need to like segregate the violence of between ages, because it's different. There's variations, but here in this case, it's the first time that I really get like reports specifically talking about how young people and children are being targeted by the violence in the country, and from like all sides. You have the terrorist groups, you have the government, you have the SARS. What do you think about? What are your reflections about the violence targeting children and youth?
well, it only tells them one thing: that this is not a country for you. You have to find a place that will be safe for you. You can't study here. You can't think of a future here. You just have to find a place for yourself. So you cannot be that targeted in a country and you feel safe staying there. That's why if you check the statistics, young Nigerians are living in droves. If they are studying abroad or they are working abroad, they just are leaving the country because it's absolutely insane for mental health to stay and listen to this kind of depressing news every day, not knowing when it will be your turn, because it could happen to you any time of the day. It's that bad. For young people in a science secondary school not to be safe in the home state of the president, and for 600 of them to be kidnapped in an operation that took hours, and they were carted away by foot, without
600 second
with,
graders. I mean,
without interruption. It's bewildering, really. So it's very hopeless. If you think of it in even deeper dimensions, you would there's nothing you can say about this. So I mean, for young people in Nigeria, it's a very hopeless situation, that the government they've elected cannot protect them, that the government they elected keep giving them excuses why they cannot protect them and why they should be protecting themselves. So it's a very difficult situation, and I think the world should wake up to this, and be able to kind of keep an eye that would make this country at least safe for its young people. This is happening in northern Nigeria for now, but it will spill over to other parts of the country if time is not taken, and that will be very bad. This country is a country of over 200 million people. If something goes terribly wrong here, people will have to go elsewhere. So it's better that we nip this problem in the bud and make sure that Nigeria is safe for its people to live in and to develop in.
thank you so much.